All right. Well, I'll just start by sharing a little bit about what we did with the rainwater collection system here, and then I'll let you guys ask some questions, and we'll look at other options of it. So, just to start off, these tanks are something called an IBC tote, and they are normally just used to ship different foods like a corn syrup, things like that. And you can just buy them used off of classifieds or from different distributors in different areas. We just got them used. They're 250 gallons. Then we just made sure we cleaned them out really well, and then we wrapped them in black plastic. The black plastic is there so there isn't algae and moss and stuff like that growing on the water, because these are clear totes, as you can kind of see from the ripped plastic. So that's what the totes are. This system is a complicated system. I'll try and explain it simply, but we really want it to be in one central location from multiple areas of our house, of the roof and gutter system. So it's something called a wet system, which means that there are pipes running underneath the ground that always have water in them that then flow up into the tanks. So this works because this is where the water comes into the tank. It drops into the first one. These are all interconnected in the bottom. So as it comes up in the first one, all of these tanks will also fill up with water. This is how we get the water out. It's not extremely high pressurized, so it does have a hose connection, but it's a little harder to kind of connect a hose and get it running all the way out to the garden and expect there to be a lot of pressure. So more than anything, we can just open it up here, and it's a decent amount of pressure to use to fill up a bucket or a watering can or things like that. The main thing with us planning this system is we did not want any type of overflow or water kind of at the house running into the foundation, into the window wells, things like that. So we have multiple areas like this that function as overflows. So as soon as the water gets to about this point in the tanks, it'll start running out this pipe and just down across the ground. And that's the same thing with this big pipe here. If it were to rain hard enough to fill up the tanks and get up to this point, it would come out here before coming out over at the gutters. Yeah.
So this is to take care of your plants. It's not drinking water.
We would drink this if we filtered it, but we would use it to water without filtering. More than anything, it's a way to collect water in an emergency, and it's only for rainwater collection. This is not replacing like normal water storage for us. It is just to collect the rainwater that comes. Any other questions just so far? Yeah.
One, are the okay, so the lids and things you would have, they come with this.
Yeah.
When you buy them, what are these called again?
IBC tote. IBC tote. And with the lids, since you asked, it's really screwed on there. In the lid, we made sure that there are holes as well. Because if this were a completely sealed tank and we started forcing water into the bottom, it would become pressurized with the air that was inside, and it would start bulging and possibly break. So we make sure that there are holes in the top of our storage containers so that the air can escape while it fills with water.
Just in the lid you put for everything.
We just have them in the lid. We don't want to put any holes in the tank because we just felt like that would be asking for problems of leaking and breaking. So this is just kind of like the whole storage location of it. Yeah.
So, dumb question. How does the rainwater get in?
Yeah, no, that's where I'm going next. So that's perfect. So if we want to make our way over to this corner of the house, I'll show you how the water actually makes its way into it.
The other question is this one. Does your city make you tell them that you have these storage tanks?
So there is a Utah law that if you collect more than, I think it is 100 gallons, you have to report it just with the online form. And the cap of what you can collect on your property is 2,500 gallons. And this is the 1,000-gallon storage.
Because I know Orem said that if we did any kind of a system, we could only get up to 100 gallons.
Oh.
And then we got charged for taking water.
Oh, we have not had to deal with that. So
Oh my God, not happening.
yeah, 2,500 gallons is the max you can collect on the property.
Per year?
Just having capacity is the most you can. Yeah, so 2,500 capacity. All right, so I don't know if you guys can all see over there. Maybe we can keep sliding around a little bit. So this is how the whole system actually works. Like I said over there, we didn't want any type of overflow here. We didn't want water coming out and going into the window well and all of that. So this system is, like I said, complicated. At the top, we have a leaf filter. So that is just to filter off any of the large leaves or different debris that would come through the gutter. That then comes into here. So as you can see, this actually stops right here. This is what we call a first flush system. So this collects the first part of the rainwater off of the roof, and with it, it flushes off the bird poop, the dirt, the different chemicals that have landed there. So this is kind of just the throwaway section of the water. And the way this works is there's a plastic water bottle inside of this pipe. I think it's a 1 liter Sprite bottle. That then as the water fills up, it then caps right here. So the water bottle will float and stop here. So as the water comes in, it'll hit here, but then come up and across here. So the water will come here, and then underneath the ground here from that one over there, that gutter and this gutter are pipes that are all completely sealed and interconnected that then drop it into the first tank over there. The way it works is through gravity. It's a sealed system, so this is the only entrance along with that one over there, and that is the only exit. So if this is higher than that, it'll come out there first before it comes out here. So as soon as water, probably about here, is the height of the tanks. So the water will get here and then it'll start filling up the tanks. So as of now, there's probably actually water to about right here in all of the pipes.
So why do you need the Sprite bottle? Why not just let it fill up?
Yeah, that's definitely a simpler way. We like the Sprite bottle just because if there isn't some type of cap here, the water will come and almost cycle through this area. So then kind of like mixing in with the dirty water and bringing some up and over. Yeah, great question. That is a good clarifying comment. So that's why we have a cap here, is so that this water stays untouched and the clean water can then come across. Other than that, this is a system that we empty in the winter. We do not have those tanks insulated, and we don't want them to fill up and then burst as it freezes. So we will empty those tanks, and that is the purpose for this black pipe. We don't want water running through our pipes. So we'll just remove this cap, slide this black pipe onto it, and then just let the water during the winter and during the early part of the spring just run out and not into our system. That's a main overview of what we have done for this system. I don't know if you guys have any questions on that, or if I should explain a easier alternative, a good beginning level.
So you just
Yeah.
particular rain.
Yeah, so these two rain like downspout areas collected about 50% of our house's roof space. So those were the two main ones we wanted to focus on because they collected the most water and they filled. I think that's been full for about a month and a half now. So it filled up pretty quick with the rain that we've had this year. All right, so I'll just explain an easy beginner rainwater collection system. This is just a cheap rainwater barrel. It could also just be a water barrel that you can find on KSL Classifieds, Facebook Marketplace, even like Cal Ranch has them. They come with a spigot there at the bottom and a hole here at the top that you can get into. And the easiest way to use this type of system is you just remove this cap, and instead of doing all of this piping, you simply just leave your extended gutter down and just direct it straight into this. If you don't want to do any piping, you can just cut a hole in the top of the barrel here and just direct it straight into it and just let it fill up. The only thing with that is you still want to make sure that once it's full, you have a way to divert the water away from the house. That's just something that you always want to make sure you're considering with these types of systems. But that is the easiest way, just to put one at the bottom of one of these downspouts and just put water into it directly.
But you did that, take a hose at the bottom of the downspout and then feed it up to the barrel. Because like most.
Yeah, because most downspouts go down to about here. If it were us doing it, I would probably put this directly under and have some type of like this extendable thing and just chop the downspout about here, and then either let it flow into this or pull a extendable downspout onto it and just like clamp it there. So that's what we do with this. We have a clamp that we then clamp this to it. So I would clamp it onto it for the winter time or once it's full and just let the water run out. Otherwise, just direct it straight into here. And like I said, we would filter this water to drink, not enough. Like with that leaf filter and this collection system, we don't think there's enough of a filter to then just drink it directly, just due to chemicals on the roof and everything. So we would filter it if we were to drink it. But other than that, that's kind of all I had to share. I don't know if you guys have any questions for me.
Pretty cool.